nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell your good
What's going on? What's going on?
'cause I'll find no matter what. Susceptible
How we doing tonight, folks?
before the moment flies.
Let's do round 2 on that one. I need a few more minutes. Do me a favor. Age, city, gender in the chat room.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. To the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies.
Do we want that one on? No, that's what we didn't do.
'Cause I'll find no matter what. Susceptible now, before the moment flies.
Shout out to the dude, 50 Cent.
It's not a problem.
Clap. Clap.
'Cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah. And nothing can stop me.
Woo!
'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize.
Let's get it.
The way I follow. No need to say
No need to say.
where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Yeah,
That's it.
susceptible now, before the moment.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope everybody is having a good day, a great day, a fantastic day. I love Thursday. Thursday is my favorite day of the week. I call it Friday Eve back when I used to work in corporate America, but I don't work in corporate America anymore. So every day is a work day for me. So, little housekeeping. As we start to get into tonight's topic, understand it is going to trigger some people. My goal is not to trigger folks, men or women, to be provocative, but just honestly to try to inject some balance, some realism, and a different perspective into a conversation that oftentimes just gets swept under the rug, because a lot of times people just can't risk saying what they really think. So we try to tackle it in the best way possible. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. I want to give a shout out to all the patrons that make this show possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to Black Wolf, Black Wolf Inc. Always coming through representing, doing what he does. And guys, understand something that, this conversation to several of us may seem basic, old hat, but there are new people finding YouTube every day. There are new people finding the sectors of YouTube where you and I may have considered to be our haunts, and they're looking around, and it's new to them. It's new to them. So, yesterday's broadcast, as I kind of lead in today, it was talking about high value men. High value men, do you qualify for one and do you want one? And what I said yesterday, among other things, is high value is not, NOT, not a requirement for a happy life. What is a high value man and do you want one? Oh, before I say that, the previous night's broadcast, the 27 to 35, the danger zone, I'm having to re-upload that. YouTube, some stuff was going crazy with the audio. So what I'm doing with these broadcasts is my monologue and then the interviews or the calls. I'm going to leave the main show up, but I'm also going to re-upload them in smaller bite-sized pieces. I'm also going to start mixing and matching, kind of like having your favorite pizza. You want this topping, all in one place. Do my best to get you what you want, how you want it, including the music, the playlist. Yes, my goal is to have it out by Sunday. Basically some tracks that you can just groove to. It'll be hosted here on the YouTube channel as a playlist that all you got to do is click and play. You can get the music. The Godfather can get the credit. We love that. Now, understand something. High value is, there were a lot of guys took exception to some of the things I said yesterday. And understand, that's your right, but I'm not going to change anything that I said. High value is, it starts with money. See, a lot of folks say high value is a mindset. But you know what? There's some homeless people who could think they're high value. The world would beg to differ. And the guys who were truly high value had no real problem with the things I was saying yesterday because they have them. High value, you cannot have money once. You have to make it consistently. And today, Brother Dennis Sperling was over on the Obsidian Media Network channel on Mixler. And he didn't even watch my show last night. And he was echoing the same things. And this brother is a multimillionaire attorney. And one of the things that he kind of chimed in on, that a lot of you guys are trying to get there too soon. It is damn near impossible to be high value for the average guy before age 40. Before age 40. Because you need to have a profession, have time in your career, tenure, and you have to have time to stack things. He was mentioning that if you are 25, where he is, a 25-year-old man or 27-year-old man, and you're trying to date a 25-year-old woman, they'll look at you like you're crazy because they know, and everybody else knows, you have not had the time that it takes to stack the resources to take care of a wife. That's what I kept trying to push off to guys last night. One, you don't have to be high value. There comes a lot of pressure to being an A+ student. Number two, it's too soon. You got to have time. So go back and watch that broadcast. Go back and watch that broadcast because a lot of dudes was up and had their jaws tight yesterday. But I'm saying, look, man, I know what I'm talking about because these are my clients and I'm in this group. No one looks at a guy who's in his 20s, I don't care how much money he has, as high value. But on to the next part of the broadcast. On to the next part of the broadcast. Oh, we got 500 and only 503 likes. Come on, guys. I know y'all cat in here got excited. Y'all saw 50 Cent, saw Vivica. I get it. But come on, man. Let's get the likes up because we want to get this broadcast going. Let's get the likes up to over 750, and we need to get a few more folks to throw something in the donations because we got to talk. The problems with being a high value, the problems with being a high value black man. It seems to me that the world in general, but older black women in particular, have a real problem with certain high value black men. The 50 Cent, what the 50 Cent and Vivica Fox thing exposes. For everybody who does not know, 50 Cent is in the news again for coming out on a broadcast or a podcast with Lil Wayne, and where he said something to the effect of he likes dating women that are exotic, i.e., that stuff look you don't see that in the hood. It looks like it just came off the boat. You know, tired of dealing with the angry, frustrated. I don't know if he said black woman, but the inference was black woman, and of course, 50 Cent is catching heat from many sectors of the world. O'Shea Duke Jackson made a video about it. CD made a video about it. Several people have responded to it. One thing that I found that's interesting is when they went to Fox Soul and they had the cocktails and queens, Vivica Fox, Shalina, whatever, Claudia, and Lisa Ray. 4 post-wall black women. I mean, not even post-wall. 4 older black women. And they went and asked one of the women, one of the panelists asked all the women, and who was the first person to raise their hand to comment on what 50 Cent said? First of all, I'm not going to call him 50 Cent. I'm going to say Curtis Jackson. See, 50 Cent, that's the brand. That's the rapper. 50 Cent is not a high value man. 50 Cent is not a high value man. Curtis Jackson is. Jay-Z, by himself, in my opinion, not a high value man. Sean Carter is. Check. Curtis Jackson gave his opinion on Lil Wayne's podcast. And an ex-lover of Curtis Jackson, Vivica Fox, the first words out of her mouth was with that old, drawn-up Cruella de Vil look on her face. Just go look at it, because if you try to play it, they're going to copy. They're going to hit you for a strike. He would say something like that. You know, he's just an F-boy. Now, why you, out of all the people, raised your hand to say something about your ex-lover is very telling. By show of hands, who thinks if you have Vivica Fox as a 1 and Curtis Jackson is a 2, who do you think is winning in life? Vivica Fox, 1, or Curtis Jackson as a 2 in 2020? If you believe Vivica Fox is winning overall, put a 1 in the chat room. But if you believe Curtis Jackson is winning overall, put a 2 in the chat room. The fact that she came out calling him an F-boy, and you would say something like that, and then she went and did the typical things. You don't want somebody to challenge you. Newsflash, high-value men don't want their women to challenge them. You want somebody to just sit there and look pretty in their place. Newsflash, high-value men want their women to sit over there and look pretty in their place. Which is why you're in your unmarried place. And For everything that she said, she went down all the things: shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Let's talk about it. You know, Selena Johnson said, you know what? We need our high value men like Curtis Jackson. Hey, brother, could you help to possibly moderate your tone? Because whether you say it, whether you think it or not, lots of guys are looking at you. Selena Johnson backed up and said, excuse me, Mr. Jackson, you're entitled to your preference. However, other men are listening to you, and it's already hard enough for black men and black women. Could you possibly maybe say it a different way? Kudos to you for being able to read the room. Lisa Ray came in and said, y'all gonna be mad at me. Lisa Ray got it right. She said that man's entitled to his preference. If he likes what he likes, so about it. Good thing for him. If you say you like Italian men, like they're about to go over to Italy, you don't want anybody saying anything about you. See, that caused one Vivica A. Fox to start to not backpedal, but readdress, because two of the three women said, no, no, no. He's a high value he's a high value man. He has power and influence, and he's entitled to his preference. Because we would look all kind of hypocritical if somebody said this to us. And then Claudia basically kind of co-signed with Vivica and all this. You came from a black woman and that, just all, just. Mm. Then, of course, Lil Wayne's daughter, Reginae Carter, had something to say about it. She didn't say it directly because her father was on a podcast, and she's like, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm a queen. Stand up, look, sweetheart. No. If you were not Lil Wayne's daughter, you get no airtime. You're cute, but you're not. You're not nearly fine, and you're not nearly in the league to be talking like that. And see, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm not supposed to say that because there are people that have a problem with certain types of high value black men. First of all, the type of high value black men they have a problem with are the ones that are outspoken. The ones that are outspoken. Because the outspoken ones tend to be unbothered, tend to say what's on their mind. Why? I mean, when you listen to what Vivica A. Fox said, and 50 Cent, and Curtis Jackson responded and said, man, my ex-lover still want me. 17 years ago, we was together for 4 months, and she's still mad. My Badoom Doom must be better than I thought. Kudos to you, 50 Cent, for smiling through it. Because who looked more hurt? Curtis Jackson or Vivica A. Fox? I mean, have you guys looked at the way Vivica looks these days? Every time you see her, it look like she done sucked on a bag of lemons. Now, I remember back in the 90s when Vivica was hot. Fine. But Vivica, but so many women like Vivica A. Fox fall into a broadcast where I said, women have already met their guy and they blew it. A woman like her with that access to everything she's had, she already met her guy, but she likely blew it. And why is this such a problem? We're going to get into it. The only problem when you're a high value black man is when you're outspoken, you're out in front, you're masculine, heterosexual, unashamed, and unbothered. Let me say that again. When you're outspoken, you're out in front, you're masculine, heterosexual, unashamed, and unbothered. See, if you weren't outspoken, they wouldn't have any problem with you. Keep your money, we'll support you. If you weren't out in front, if you were playing the back and letting, the quote unquote typical power players, females, get the shine. If you were feminine, you're not going to be masculine. If you were effeminate, you're going to sit around and, yes, no, demure, They got no problem with you. But when you're the opposite, and then when you are unashamed of it, when you're unashamed of being all the things, and you're unbothered by the response, that's a problem. The only problem is when you are outspoken, out in front, masculine, unashamed, and unbothered. Like the rest of high value men everywhere else in the world. Let me say that again. When you're a black man when you're a black high value man and you just like the rest of men everywhere else in the world. See, everywhere else in the world, high value men can be all these things, and it's not a problem. But in Black America, it's a problem. Why? Well, in particular for older black women, because they get upset with some very core concepts. Some very core concepts they get upset with. First, here's some of the big ones. They get upset with the concept of the wall. They want to argue with it. I've actually heard when I say older women, I mean for marriage. I've actually heard older women, and I do not consider a woman in her early 30s to be a young woman. I consider you to be middle aged. I consider you to be a young woman when you're in your teens to your early 20s. We need to stop calling women over 30 young women. You are not. They tend to have a problem with the concept of the wall. I've actually heard women say, well, guys hit the wall too. No such thing. They have a problem with the concept of the wall. Why? Because they're past it. They're past it and they want to say 40 is the new 30. No, 40 is 40. Your eggs say 40. You can't have a new plan with old eggs. They tend to have a big problem with age gap dating when it's a man who's older. See, Stella can go get her groove back, but age gap dating is peta. It's weird. It's predatory when it's an older man and a younger woman. But everywhere else in the world, it's perfectly acceptable. It's normal. Matter of fact, I could say, Dennis Sperling was talking about it in Latin countries. They don't want you trying to date young women when you're a young man. You have nothing. What other concepts do they get upset with? Patriarchy. Men first instead of the matriarchy. They tend to get upset with gender roles. It's all this fluid stuff. There are no gender roles. We're all equals. They tend to have overall problems with what could be considered traditional values. And the high joker in the deck is no matter what, you ain't supposed to say nothing because your mama black and you owe all black women because you came out of one. Now, understand something. They tend to have problems with all of these things, all the while wanting the outcomes that men like this typically produce. You got a problem with the things, but you want the outcomes that these mindsets typically produce. And ultimately, a lot of these older women, they're mad because whether they admit it or not, they have blown their shot and they are out of time. Vivica Fox, for everything that you were in the 90s, Vivica was premium in the 90s. You will never see another Independence Day. When you're on Fox Soul, O'Shea said it, basically you have gone to where careers go to expire. And while you're over there, what I hear coming from her is what I hear come from Lonnie Love and a lot of these women. You're using your platform to attack and target high value black men. That playbook is dead. I mean, notice that none of the videos over there have gone viral because the times have shifted. Younger women are looking at the Vivicas and their mothers and their grandmothers and their aunties and say, I don't want to be no parts of that. They're angry, they're upset, they're mad, or whatever. and they will be loath to admit it, that they know in their heart of hearts they've missed their shot. They know they missed their shot. And you can't turn the clock back. And the fact that most, and this doesn't give me any particular pleasure to say it, the fact that most will die alone is maddening to these women. And they're going to make black men feel their pain. Why? Well, especially if you're a woman like that, where you've accomplished something. You're not working retail somewhere. You're not working as an accountant somewhere. You actually have had a career. And she looks at her white counterparts or non-black counterparts, and they were able to parlay that career into access an opportunity with other people, other men, and to lock down a man and produce a family. What did you do with all? What do these women do? You can look at the women who are the most angry, the most upset, the most sour, the most bitter sounding, and ask them, what have they done with the education, income, and access that they have? What have they done with it? They always want to throw it up in your face, what they got. Okay, but what have you done with it? You got it. You got your Beamer, your Benz, or whatever. You got your house. You got your this. You got all that. You got your Ivy League education. You got your masters. You got all that. What have you done with it? You are no longer in the hood. You over here now. You're at access over here. You're floating in this circle. What have you done with it? What has it netted you? What has it gotten you? And sadly, what has gotten most of them is not what they want. It's not what they want. So, when we look at what 50 Cent said, that he said he likes something exotic. You know what exotic is in the black community? Femininity, submission, cooperation. That's exotic. That's exotic. When you got a brother say, why would I want to get a woman with Brazilian weave? Why don't I just go get a Brazilian woman? You can't fault that. And there are a lot of brothers that feel bad that they would like to kick it with a sister. Matter of fact, in my group, The Mix, I put out a test, just a little test, just a test. And of the guys in my group, The Mix, there are roughly 500, almost 600 people in there now. Roughly 300 men, 300 women, roughly. Well, no, it's more men than women. It's about 4-2. The net of it is, I said, guys, are you pro-marriage? Are you for marriage or against marriage? Simply. Gave them 48 hours to respond. Over 258 responses to this date. Only 3 said they don't want marriage. A group of black men who were confident, intelligent, and assertive, who raised their hand and say, I want to smoke. I want to be in the top 10% into the top 5% of men. I have this kind of mindset. Oh, yes. And I vet, I look. Yep. 258 responses. 3. The others, emphatically. To most are emphatic. Yeah, I want to get married and kids and everything else. I want to pay the bills and everything else. Y'all will never see the names. So I laugh when I hear black women, older black women talk about where are all the good men at, where I can't find them, whatever. Well, one of the women in my group found hers in 10 days. And I'm not a matchmaker. The thing is, instead of sitting up there being angry and upset with what high value black men like Curtis Jackson say they want, why don't you give him what he wants? Instead of trying to get him to change what he wants or make him feel bad for what he wants, because it won't happen. Because no other race of men, high value men, are made to feel guilty or ashamed for their preferences. And black men are starting to shuffle that off. They're not being bothered by it anymore. They're moving on. That stuff stopped working. That stopped working circa 2005. Y'all are 15 years late. It worked up to 2005. This next Generation X black men, they've they've gone down the path of marriage, broken relationship, divorce, part-time dad, stepfather, and did everything right. And what black men like myself have said, you know what? I've paid my dues. And with what I have left in life, I'm going to have a good time and enjoy it. I'm not going to be angry with you. I'm not going to talk bad about you. But when it's all said and done, the women I deal with are going to be feminine, beautiful, inspirational. This was a great call we had today. You hear a bunch of high value men saying the same thing that was co-signed last night, and you can't say none of these men are bitter, angry. They just know what's up out there. And what are they teaching their sons? Brother said, hey man, I'd love for you to be able to teach my sons about the power and impact of image. I got them in etiquette. I got him in martial arts, here, and here. We just sitting here chopping it up. I'm like, I've never met this brother, but he and I are kindred spirits. And I know there are many more guys like him and the men in my group around this country. We are not an anomaly. So you can miss me with the fact of saying that every black man who's a high value man is self-hating and don't like his mama because he is tired of dealing with lemon-faced, bad attitude, demanding women who don't want to give us what we are asking for. Understand, that's ultimately what it comes down to. You ask us what we want and we tell you, and you don't want to give it to us. You're capable of giving it to us, but you don't want to. And that's a battle for you and your therapist. It's not something men over here should be worrying about. They should go on to find who wants to give it. Because I'm going to tell you, there are plenty of women wanting to get with these high value brothers. Plenty. And that's another reason why some of these older black women have such a hard problem with certain kinds of high value black men. Again, it's only the outspoken ones. If you are a more Obama-like, this kind of middle of the road, let Michelle do the thing, they love you. But those aren't the ones you want. You want the men that produce the outcomes that you dislike. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Look here, if you got a question, if you ask me something in the chat room, you're going to have to put it in super chat if you expect me to see it. There are too many people in here. And do not highlight my name. If you highlight me to get my attention, I will block you. I will block you. But let's do it. Intermission. Let's get this money up. Get these likes up.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienen lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te lo ve.
We're about to open the call line. Let's see what we got going on. Oh man, we don't even have the likes up over 1,000. Oh man, we got to get the likes way up.
Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work.
Oh, let me help this chick out.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
Bye.
Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú
Moderators,
me ves solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un
time out
interés.
any of these
Ser humano para mí es un deber.
crazy people talking about the best from anything else.
No vendo mi alma, lo
None of that time, no time for
Seré
that.
el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Come on. Again. It's only a problem. It's only a problem if you're outspoken.
Se arregla con dinero. Money work. De corazón.
He shouldn't be saying these kind of things. We've got right to reason to be angry and unhappy. It ain't our fault. Cool, ain't nobody said it was. Nobody gonna put up with it though. Especially not men who've had to work to get to the next level. Luna. See, no one's going to sit back and argue with you, ladies. Nobody's going to argue with you. Nobody's going to argue with you. I'm telling you right now, men are not going to argue with you. Just like these people coming to talk about, you need to leave. Look, ain't nobody. It amazes me how often these so-called people who don't like black men always find themselves in our spaces. Why y'all going over find Waldo? Oh, but we've already said Waldo ain't checking for y'all. And I don't have any problem with him. I have never met truly happy divestors. I'm serious. I've never really met a group of happy women talking about, divest from this. Divest. If you can't divest from success. You can't divest from success. You want to divest from success? Knock yourself out. See, these kind of guys over here present a unique problem for a lot of these conversations. Ain't nobody hating on you, talking crazy to you. You can't divest from success though, and make it seem like you're making some sense. And again, find me the group of 26 and under women, 26 and under black women who are 8s, 9s, and 10s in the face, 8, 9, and 10 in the body, who's talking about divesting and all this other stuff. They're not having a problem. Especially the ones that are 8s, 9s, and 10s, and they got the face and the body lined up, and they have the femininity and the cooperation. They got more than enough. The women that are talking all this stuff are 4s and 5s, and their bodies are 4s and 5s, and they're upset for something that has nothing to do with me, you, or any of these other guys. Not hating on you, but no one cares. And if you're average in one group, you cannot go be above average in another group. All right, here's how this is going to go tonight. When you get on the show, you're going to have all the channels in the background shut off. Only be on Zoom. Preferably, you need to be on a headset. Okay? Again, I only have problems with outspoken brothers. Brothers who are outspoken, because the outspoken men actually have other men listening. See, if you were outspoken, but you really were not high value, that really wouldn't be a problem. But it's when you're outspoken and you actually have some gravitas. See, that's what it means to truly be a high value man. A high value man must have gravitas, gravity, must draw other people towards him. That's what produces such a problem with guys like Curtis Jackson. Because whether they like him or not, he has gravitas. Gravitas. So again, I don't know, with the way this channel is doing right now, I would not be surprised. I mean, I know brother Attorney Sperling was actually on a show in Houston, responding to Lonnie Love, and Lonnie Love and those people kind of responded back. Because here's what's happening: people are looking in these spaces. How many of you guys are familiar with? You've heard of Steve Harvey, Derek Jackson, Stefan Labassiere, Tony Gaskins, Ace Metaphor, these kind of folks. They watch these spaces. Um, I was even saying something about the guys over in the Roommates podcast. I'm seeing a lot of their titles that seem to be following a lot of the titles that pop up around here. And something today was Red Pill is the New Woke, which is cool. Watch the content, but have some. When's the collaboration stuff going to start happening? Watching the content, you get one side of it though. When are you going to start reaching out to people who have a more strong a view than Derek Jackson, Stefan Labassiere, Ace Metaphor? When are you going to have those black men, their voices heard? You've had Rebecca Lynn Pope. The numbers speak for themselves, because at the end of the day, women are coming into places to where men are, and that's the ultimate issue with a lot of these people who have problems with things that, like I say or some of the other guys are saying. It doesn't matter how I say it. The fact is, there's some women that just are just are angry. I don't want to say they just have a problem with black men. He can never be right. Nothing you can ever do is good. And the problem is that you have starting to have women, younger women, women period, coming over into here, because here's the thing: whether you are this or that, or level up or date out, the end consumer of the product that is a woman is a man. And if you got all this theory and mindset for women, and there are no men picking them up, getting them, coupling and moving on, means nothing. So let's get into it. You said, where the high value women at? Behind that preposition. Behind that preposition. The high value women would see that statement and be like, ah. See, I listened to what 50 said. I listened to what Curtis Jackson said, and it wasn't insulting. He was stating his preference. And the thing is, why not just say, if this is what men like him want, and if I want a man like him, you're going to have to give him what he wants. I have yet to hear women in mass, when you hear a lot of sisters, especially older sisters, say black men say we're angry, we're this, we're that, we're hard to cooperate with, we're not submissive. All right. Then if you hear this, why don't you become that? You hear what, it's not as though you don't hear what these guys are saying they want. Let's just be real. You don't feel as though you have to give it to them. Because far too many women in our culture feel as though they're above the men. This is a culture thing. More than a race thing, it's a culture thing. You don't have to respect. You can say, I'll respect my man and I'll submit to my man. Yeah, but you'll give every other man in the culture your butt to kiss. And that's not how this thing works. And sadly, while you have between 16 and 29, men have between 18 and 90. What are you going to do? Because it's not as though he said something wrong or was being overly rude. But if he decides he wants to go down the path and do something different, he has the option. So that's most. Hey man, you can't type in all caps, man. You can't type in all caps; it'll time you out. Hey man, if you come in here typing in all caps, Wallace, type like you have some sense, man. You're gonna have to go. You love Derek Jackson? Okay, cool. Enjoy. Look, man, I don't have problems with people. I don't have a problem with if you like somebody's content. I think some of the things he says is dangerous to women, especially when older women. They aren't getting on tonight. They're like, oh, I don't want that part. So, what else was I going to say? I was listening to. I'm not going to say the woman, but there's. I want to get back to this other part. Older women, and when I talk about older women, we're talking about from a marriage standpoint. That means women over 30. 30 years old is old to be contemplating a first marriage. Go to matchmakers, wedding planners, anybody will tell you that's just what it is. It's old to be planning a wedding. Okay? Like I said, we got to start calling things what they are. And again, what do I heard a woman talking about the wall, that men hit the wall too, and how, if you're a black woman, the wall isn't the wall for you. This notion that you can make up rules to suit you just because you, again, notice how when women like this begin to speak, they want to change things because they've aged past. See, when you still have time, you don't care. If you're 22, somebody says the wall, you're not really sweating it. But when you're 29 and somebody says the wall, then you got a problem with the concept of the wall. Why? Because you wasted those years. The wall exists for a reason. The wall exists for a reason. Yeah, Derek Jackson graduated high school in 2007. Yeah, that's another thing. I gotta say, I'm looking at you women with a side eye who really listen to what he says. He just turned 30. And especially older women listening to him, you should know better. The women that can listen to him, really, if they were in their teens to early 20s, sure. There's no way a guy who just turned 30 can tell you anything. Not for the entirety of women. Let me say that. The wall. I mean, I heard this woman say, you're just wrong about the wall, and a man can hit the wall too. If a man's money is not right, he's at the wall. Yeah, but see, he can always go get more money. You can't go get more time. Can't. A man can get himself together inside of a year or inside of 3 years, turn his entire life around. You can't do that. Again, age gap dating. The group of women that have the women have a problem with it because they can't do it. Older women dating younger men know that there is no future in this. It is just a short time, but again, they're wasting the most valuable time. If a woman's dating a man 10 years younger than him, when he decides he's done with that, she's just wasted her time. And what you're going to notice is it comes down to time. Patriarchy, gender roles, traditional values, all comes down to time. So go ahead. If I got something wrong on this high value thing, go ahead, join in. But see, the thing is, Heidel, if you type in the caps, man, it's going to block you. If you type in caps, it's going to block you. And I said it the other day. Who can tell you sisters the truth? Who can tell you the truth? All right, this is just a second. You need hello? All right, this is just a second time calling. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, Tamika.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Hey, how are you? How many times have you called into my show?
I think this might be my third time. The first time you weren't
Okay.
hearing me so well. The second time we had a discussion. This is my third time.
We've had two discussions. So what can I help you with?
I have a question. Um, you make a statement
Hold on,
sometimes.
Allison. I will get back. I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room, Allison. You'll be up next. Okay.
Sure, no
No,
problem.
no, no. You can stay. You can stay, Tamika. Go ahead, Tamika. Go ahead. I make a statement that. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Um, so I've heard you say quite a few times that unmarried women will generally die alone. Um, but based on my observation, if
What's
a
the
woman
question?
is
What's the
younger,
question?
if a
What's the question? I don't need a statement. Just give me the question.
wouldn't a married woman who is much younger than her husband die alone as well?
But she got a chance to be married and have a life and have kids. It's not a trick question. 1 out of 3 black women marry. That means 3 out of 4 will die unmarried, i.e., die alone. It's 75% most. It's
Okay,
75%.
I was just saying,
It's
I was just
75.
think,
It's 75% most.
sure, yes.
Okay, so if most black women don't marry in their lifetime, won't most black women die alone?
I agree. I'm not disputing that part.
Okay,
I'm just saying if a female is much younger than her husband, it is likely for him to pass
well, it's
away
not the
before her,
same.
and she will
Okay,
die
okay.
alone
So,
regardless.
okay, okay. You're trying to play tit for tat. It doesn't matter. She got
Okay.
married. The other ones didn't. Focus on the one. Okay, you're not married.
No,
And
I'm
this
not
is
married.
and I would say this topic likely bothers you.
No, it doesn't.
Then why are you okay? Then what is your ultimate point? That hey, everybody dies alone. Well, if you want to get technical, Tamika, everybody dies alone. No one dies with somebody else. That's not the point. See, let me explain something to you. Many black women are like you. You always have to be right. You're going to still argue when you're wrong on the facts. If you looked in the chat room, everybody's saying, what the fuck is wrong with this woman? Most black women die alone, and you're still talking about, well, a woman who gets married to an older man and he dies, she still dies alone as well.
For the most part, I agree with all the things that you say. This just particular part, it's almost.
Get off my show. I don't give a shit if you agree with most of the things. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to sit there and argue with your ass about the fact that most women are going to die alone. They don't get married. Wasting my time. Again, you see? It doesn't matter if you're right on the facts. Even if they agree with you, you're right. 1 out of 4 will get married. That means 3 out of 4 won't. So the 3 out of 4 that don't get married will die alone. Instead of just saying, yeah. Yeah, but isn't that just as bad as if one of the ones that got married? See what they're trying. It's almost like I heard this argument where somebody tried to make being a baby daddy and being an in-home father the same thing. We try to make dysfunction normal so we don't have to feel some way about it. If that is not a dysfunctional ass culture, I don't know what it is. And you called me 3 times. I remember your calls. Allison, you need to unmute yourself.
Hi, good evening. How are you doing today?
Okay, I'm gonna need you. I'm good. I need you to mute out, close the YouTube channels and stuff in the background. I can hear all that noise.
Okay, hold on, please.
Oh, yeah, let me go ahead and mute you. You got music going on in the background. You can't have any noise in the background. Ahmad, I can't pronounce your first name. Again, I want you guys to pay attention. You can't be right. You're going to be wrong. Somehow, instead of just, you know what? Focus. How about this, ladies if you think that woman had a point, how about this? Focus on you. Worry about you. Are you married? Do you want to be? Then focus on you. Because you can be right on the argument and feel so good with yourself. That bed is cold as by itself. I'm tired of that silliness, man. Who wants to deal with that? Oh, who wants to deal with that? That's what Brother Sperling was talking about earlier today. He's a high-powered attorney. He could go out here and beat this person, beat that person, and got to come home and worry about arguing with this batch. And that means batch. That's bitchy. That kind of stuff is bitchy. Tamika, it's bitchy. And men don't want to deal with bitchy women. Hello? I can't hear you. Your microphone. Hello, Allison, go ahead.
Hi.
How are you?
Yes, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. How are you today?
Good. What did I get wrong?
I don't know if you got anything wrong. I just want to know what the solution is. I am double nickels. I'm 55. I am a yoga teacher. And, I feel good about life. I feel good about myself, but I am single. I've been divorced.
Okay.
And so, just what is the solution?
Well,
what lane,
I don't
do
know.
you really need to be?
I don't know. You're throwing a lot at me. So 55, how long were you married?
I was married for 6 years.
At what age did you get married?
I was 36 when I got married.
And you divorced 42, so you've been divorced for 13 years?
Yes.
Any children?
No children.
Okay. So why'd you wait so late to marry?
I guess career, pretty much, profession. I
Have
just
you been
wasn't
a
in
yoga
a
teacher
hurry.
your entire career?
I have not. I was a hairstylist prior to.
So I know plenty of hairstylists and yoga teachers that seem to be able to get married just fine.
I guess it wasn't exampled in my family, and so it wasn't something that I really, kind of went towards.
So how about this?
So,
How about we just, instead of saying career, because when you say that to a brother like myself, I hear disingenuous. What I'm hearing when you
Really?
say career,
Oh,
you better,
wow.
no, let me tell you why.
Okay.
You want to hear? Do you want to hear it, or you just?
Yes, of course.
All right. When you tell me you're 55 and you're a yoga teacher and a hairstylist, you can't tell me you put off marriage because of a career. Because where I'm coming from, unless you are a international business, that ain't no career to be putting anything on hold for. That's what most men hear. When you say a career, you need to be arguing before the Supreme Court. You need to have a show enough damn business. Because a hairstylist, I can throw a rock and hit 10 hairstylists on the corner, and they can find husbands. I can throw a rock that way and find any massage therapist, yoga teacher, whatever, and white women can get married. So men don't hear that. The second part makes more sense. Wasn't raised to prioritize it. That makes more sense.
Okay.
Because at 55, when you and your husband divorced, what was the cause?
Infidelity, mainly. Yes.
How many times did you cheat on him?
Oh, wow. That's an interesting curve that you threw.
Why?
It wasn't on me.
Why?
It was on him.
Black women cheat at 4 percentage points less than black men.
Well, no, that was on him. It wasn't me.
Okay. Well, you said infidelity. Okay. So infidelity, was it rampant?
It was enough. I stayed long enough through it enough to where it was enough.
Well, I'm trying to find out, was it with one person? Was it with
No, that's what I'm saying. No, it wasn't. It was with one,
Okay.
just one person.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what was your longest relationship before your marriage?
My longest relationship before my marriage, wow, was probably 3 years.
And what age were you when that started?
That I'm thinking right high school, really.
Okay. Was that
Yeah,
at the
I'm
end of
thinking
high
high
school?
school. It was like the 10th grade to my first year in college.
Okay,
Yeah.
so from 16 to 19.
Yeah.
Okay, then you skipped all the way up until 36.
Well, not that I didn't date. I did date,
No,
but
no, no, no,
serious
no, no, no,
relationship.
no, no. I'm just counting serious relationships.
Yes, certainly.
16 to 19, then all the way to 36. And then you were with this person for how long? You were married for, you guys get together 6 years total or married 6 years?
I would say 7 years total.
Okay, so you knew him for a year and you were married for 6. So so if I mapped out your relationships, you were born in 64, 65.
65.
65. You were
Yes.
you were with somebody from high school, 10th grade to your freshman year in college. And then from that point on, from 19 to 35, double almost twice your lifetime, you had no serious relationship. You met somebody for 1 year, you married them, and you divorced after 6 years. And then you've been single for 12. Your entire life you've been single.
That's fair. Yeah.
So you don't have a
Actual.
well, yeah. So you don't have a track record of being with a man. You don't have a track record of cooperating with a man, serving a man, anything like that. You
Oh,
haven't,
I served my husband. No, I definitely served my husband.
ma'am.
He
I
would
said,
tell you
ma'am,
that.
ma'am. I'm not trying to insult. I said a track record of serving a man over the long term, over a life. 6 years in a marriage. I'm not taking anything away from that, but I'm saying it's over a period of a lifetime. That's what I'm saying. So the future going forward, what is it you would want?
Well, I definitely would like to have a serious relationship and a
Okay.
lifelong partner. I
Okay.
would.
Okay. Uh,
Going forward.
to what end?
To the end.
I mean, to what end? I mean, why?
Because I think it's God ordained, for relationships. I mean, I feel like love is a wonderful thing.
Hold on.
No, I do.
You're 55, and you're
Yeah.
saying it's God ordained.
Relationship, companionship,
Say,
I
okay, man.
believe.
All right, you call some. I'm okay. I hear you, but it's hard to hear that it's God ordained, and you're 55, and you have no real long track record of being with a man. See, it's not like you can say you've been in and out of relationships. You
But I
haven't.
think that would be foolish and frivolous if that were the case and it wasn't serious. So I choose not to casually date anybody.
Well, your best thinking got you where you are right now, and you're calling me. Your best thinking got you where you are right now, and you're calling me and asking. And like most sisters, you got your mind made up, and
Well, I don't want to casually date
it doesn't
anyone.
matter what you want, ma'am. See,
Yeah.
you spent your entire life being in charge.
I guess a great portion of it.
You're
Sure.
55, ma'am. You have your entire life. Your high school, it really doesn't count. The only relationship in your life that truly counts is the year you dated somebody and you got married. You have been from your adult life, you've had one relationship.
Is that a bad thing?
For what you want, yes.
Oh, okay. First time I'm ever hearing that.
How many black men have you asked?
I've had quite a few conversations. I mean, I would like to feel like I don't want to be spent and used up when he does come.
Let
I
me
mean,
stop you right here, ma'am. You're 50. Let me just get real with you, ma'am. 55, there ain't much left to use.
It's a lot to use.
No, no.
Trust and believe.
Oh no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. See, we allow our sisters who are you're half 100, and you're talking like you're in your 20s, like you got all this time and all this the juice left, ma'am, you're almost retirement age. Talking like you got all this time left. And see,
Well, that's how I
we do that,
feel.
and we
But I
that's how
feel
you
like
feel.
that.
I don't give a damn how you feel. You were born in 1960 fucking 5.
Okay.
You're old, like me. Talk like it. But you're talking like a young,
Well,
silly girl.
why am I? Well, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't feel silly, and I definitely don't feel
I
old.
don't, but it's not about how you feel, ma'am. And
It
I'm not trying to
is.
insult. Okay, see, and you know, and here's what I'm doing. I'm coming
It's
at you.
not
Here's,
about how
I
I
need you to listen.
feel.
I need you to listen. I need you to listen. I need you to listen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm purposely triggering you to see how you're going to respond, and see how you're responding. This means you're not really cut out for a man like myself or somebody on my level or really anybody.
Why would you say that?
Because, ma'am,
You
you're
think
not
I'm
even.
responding irrationally?
Go back and look in the chat room, ma'am. Because when you say me,
Well, I'm
when you tell
looking
me at
on
55,
my
when you tell me at 50,
Zoom.
no, when I go back and look in the chat room when this, I'm not looking at it either. But when you say,
Okay.
when I'm listening to a 55-year-old woman talk about how she feels, I feel like I got more time. You can feel like it all you'd want to, man. Ma'am, 55 years old. Think about when we were children. Okay? Think about when you and I are roughly the same age. Your grandmother, do you feel like, how old was your grandmother when you were born?
No, you making me challenge my math skills. How old was my
What year was your
grandmother?
grandmother born?
She was born in 1917.
1917. So 1917. So when my
Yes.
grandfather was born in 1919 and 1924. So your grandmother is 7 years older than mine. So you got to tell me, when you were looking at your grandma at 55 years old, you saw you?
No.
What did you see?
I
Exactly.
just saw
You
my grandmother.
but the thing is, when your grandmother was 55 years old, could you imagine her saying what you're saying?
My
No.
grandmother, now she was special. So
Well, apparently so. But see, when I put it in context like that, man. See, here's the thing: most people won't risk telling older black women the truth because, one, most older black women don't want to hear the truth. Two, you got so many things to keep telling you what you want to hear, but the reality is, at 55, what is the average lifespan of a black man in this country?
77, I believe, 76 for a black man.
71. Actually, 68. 68, and the average
It's gone
lifespan for.
down.
Yes. It's actually gone up with the marital rate decreasing. So the men you will be dating, how many men are left in your age, in your generation to date?
Oh, I don't know those statistics. I'm sorry.
Well, you're a late millennial, but you're not a boomer.
No.
So
you're right.
the men that are age appropriate for you are dead, or I mean, there's not a lot of men, and they're not looking for women who have no relational history. If they're looking to have a partnership, ma'am, guys are going to say, "What are we going to get from this?" And you may be a lot of things, but do you have a history of cooperating with a man? And your life says that you don't. That's not an insult. Somebody looking from 18 to right now, they look at 37 years. And only for a period of 7 years do you have a history of cooperating with a man. Does that make sense?
I'm listening. I'm not sure if it makes sense, but I'm listening to you.
Okay, well, any other question I can answer, because I don't know what else to say. I mean, your life, it's your life. From 18.
Well, according to you, I'm in the grave.
You're close there. Okay, you're close to the grave. You're closer to the grave. You're closer to the grave, then you have more time. And see, that is one of the things I am trying to get, especially people in our generation, to stop acting like we're so young, because we're not. Just because
But
we
I'm in
don't,
health and wellness. My whole
I don't
mindset is
care. You're
different.
still
It
55.
it's okay, but my
Oh,
life has
all right.
been in health and
And
wellness.
how
And
is that
so
working out? Good. But how's that? But it's not about you and your life. It's about,
but if I don't take care of me first
okay, you're
and
right.
prepare
You're right.
myself
You're right.
for
You're right.
the person that God is going to send my way, then
So
I
no,
mean,
ma'am. Let me go ahead and knock that. Let me
but
go ahead.
you,
Let me go ahead.
but you know what I've heard you
No,
say?
no. Let me go ahead. No. You're not gonna over talk me. You're not gonna put this shit off on God. You're not gonna put this off on God. And she's still talking. You still talking. I had to mute you. You roll your eyes all you want to. I'm looking dead at you. And you still talking. Mute it. And you wonder why we don't deal with older women. Because I'm sitting there talking to a woman who is 55 years old trying to tell me that you don't feel 55 and because I'm in health and wellness. And go ahead and unmute yourself, man.
Well, what else am I supposed to say? If I'm in health and wellness and I have for 30 years been in this industry, taking care of myself, preparing myself.
For what?
Doing it.
Preparing yourself for what?
For the rest of my life.
You just said for the man that God sent you, right?
Exactly, but
okay,
that's still for the rest of my life.
So I need you to answer me a question.
They are synonymous.
Excuse me. I need you to answer me a question. Are you a Christian?
I am a Christian.
So is marriage and relationship a God ordained, or is it a natural choice?
I would like to say for myself, it's
no, ma'am.
synonymous.
You're a Christian. You're a Christian. You don't get to pick your Christianity. Please answer according to the Christianity you say you believe in and you're trying to stand on.
It's God ordained.
It is not God ordained. It is a natural choice. I taught church singles ministry in 3 different churches.
Okay.
And we had go look at my broadcast about 3 weeks ago talking about Christian feminists. You sitting there telling me that God, see, if it was God, then you can say God is responsible for you not having nobody. Nope. You get a chance to pick.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that.
You would not say you don't have a choice to pick?
No, I wouldn't say God is responsible for
well, then
me
it's not God
single.
ordained. It's a natural choice. Have you ever sat down with a counselor or a therapist?
Oh yes, absolutely.
And were there's any clinical diagnosis?
No, it wasn't.
Did you talk about relationships?
Absolutely, yes.
And what was the and what did you ask? Did you ask what? What did you ask your therapist?
I mean, several different questions. It's been definitely years ago, but yeah, several different
years
questions
ago. How
along
long
those
ago?
lines. During the time I was married.
Okay. So you got married at 36.
Yes.
So from the age of 19 to 36, you never consulted a therapist to find out why you were by yourself?
Not from that time, no, I did not.
So you saw everybody else in the world getting married, moving on, and you didn't think there was something a little out of place?
No, indeed. I didn't.
Exactly. And again, it's not like you had this high power career. You were a hairstylist. But you had clients that came in who were talking about husbands, children, family. But you didn't have any of that. Right?
Correct.
And you didn't think there's a reason.
I did not.
Well,
no, sir.
I'm just saying. So again, and no one and who could risk talking to you and telling you? See, a big part of us trying to resolve any issues we have is admitting there's something off, something wrong. And I would say that if you say what you want, if what you say you want is true, in a life from 18 to 55, you have 7 years of cooperating with a man. Most of your life is spent in not cooperation. That's not I don't understand how you expect to get something out of that when you have no track record of it. You haven't even explored it. And this is what makes me so frustrated about so many of our sisters. You leave so much of it in God's hands. And this is bullshit. TD Jakes, one of the best messages I finally heard him say was, I'm tired. Stop quoting me in your house. I am a man. It is not God's to make you a man. You have to become a wife to be found. And so many of our sisters just feel like, I'm just going to go out and live my life and do my thing. And all of a sudden, husband going to knock on the door. My suggestion, ma'am, is if you really want what you say you want out of life, you gotta first off, you gotta answer the question why, and then you have to answer the question a lot of guys gonna ask: what do you bring to the table? Why would a guy want to couple with you, partner with you? What are they gonna get out of it? Because at this point, there has to be some sort of negotiation. It's the best I can offer you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Mm-hmm. You too now. I don't get it. I really don't get it. There's no real reason. There's no good reason. So many of our Generation X sisters. Remember that broadcast I did on Christian feminists? It's God. What do you hear? This career. A career that none of them really have. The most of them don't have. They got jobs. No, it's not an insult, but it's not like you got a high power career. So putting off life, the real answer is marriage and family and coupling was not stressed to us. Our generation, the women were told, you don't need no man. Go out and get your job, pay your own bills. You can't trust men. Men are the devil. And it scared the crap out of most women to where all they really thought they needed a man for was to scratch that natural itch. Even when they saw their colleagues, younger colleagues getting married and having children, it never dawned on the average rank and file sister that that you're going to need a man. They were taught to not need us. And now the sad thing is you got so many women late in life who are now raising their hands saying, I don't want to die alone. But sadly, you're not really fit to be with anybody. I mean, honestly, take her out of it. But can you imagine a man trying to deal with a woman like that? Not her specifically, but a woman like, what would it be like? You think that would be a house of peace, tranquility, cooperation? It would be like living with a dude. Only problem is living with a dude, you could whoop his ass if he got on your nerves. And so many of our sisters have been taught to think the men are the problem, that they've never stopped to look and say, why am I not seeming why is this not working? Gotta fix it. That's why when I was talking to Tiffany that one day, I jumped all over that because I've heard this for so many. I hate to see, I can't change it, but far too many of our sisters are going to die alone because they bought into this Christian feminist bull crap. And now it's too late. For a lot of them, it's too late. There are not a lot of 50. You're 55. That means you need a man 55 plus. Men are dying. Or they're already married. And the ones that aren't married they ain't going to be looking for 55-year-old women. they got a little life left, a little bit of life left, they're going to have a good time. And that hurts a lot of sisters to hear that, but it's the truth. I need you to go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hold on. Hi. I'm
How you
going to do a broadcast on. I don't want to see sisters like that and her die miserable. But we got hold on. But we're going to have to start getting to a point to where we start having reality. What's really available for most people, because this whole leaving it to God, that's some book. No, hello, how are you? I'm sorry.
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. How do you pronounce your first name?
Orkaya. So
Raquaya?
Orkaya.
Mm-hmm.
So I was calling because I just kind of want to give like a story of like.
Do you have a YouTube or anything playing on in the background?
No, I don't. Okay. Am I echoing or something?
So what do you have to give on the topic?
I was going to give a story of like I guess like a warning story for women because I'm like 38 years old and I'm just going to give them a warning. If you are younger, let that be the primary thing that you need to focus on.
Okay.
Because I did get married. I got married at 23 years old and then wound up being divorced at 30 with a child. And when I say the whole wave of what's out there switched and the gear went from me being the priority to not being it at all. And
hold on. I'm confused. You married at 23, divorced at 30?
Yes.
Who filed for divorce?
My husband.
Why'd you two split?
I would say personally, I feel like it was a lot of some on myself because I wasn't necessarily ready to be a housewife. I came in thinking like I came in with big ideas, but we weren't there financially.
Okay,
so I think that
the dissolution said what? Irreconcilable differences?
It just said basically separation, divorce. It didn't say reconcilable differences. It just said divorce.
So there was no infidelity, no cheating, no abuse.
No infidelity, no cheating. It was literally a young girl getting married and being inexperienced and not really understanding her role as a wife.
Okay, go ahead.
Period. And once I figured those things out and wanting to be a wife, I see now a lot of older women saying, "Oh, I'm not old. I can get married." And da-da-da. I'm like, no, you kind of have to change your gear and understand you're not in that bucket anymore. Mm-hmm. Now I was 21, 23. I had a number of men that were willing to marry me, but I just didn't have the right headspace. But being in the other side and you're not married and you kind of see the benefits of marriage, you will see it immediately when you have a child. Then you realize, wow, I don't know what I was thinking, but I wish I knew it back then.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Where's your ex-husband now?
He's married. He used to be married.
Uh-oh. Okay. So if he weren't okay. So are you saying you made an error in your marriage?
I can say, I don't know what he would say, but I would always say I would take the brunt of just being immature and not being playing the role well.
Are you guys are you guys co-parenting your child?
Yeah, if you're saying we don't have a good co-parenting relationship, but I primarily allow him to make all the decisions because.
Well, if he's remarried, Does he have any children with his new wife?
Yes, he does.
Well, that's probably why the co-parenting relationship is kind of trouble because the new wife probably feels some kind of way about you as the first wife.
No. It's not like that.
So basically, you want to tell young women to do what? Focus on.
Basically, when you're in that space, when you're the top choice, figure out and go for what you want and do not delay it. And you don't want to be in a situation where you're in your 40s saying to yourself, am I going to die alone? Or am I going to find purpose in my life outside of a marriage? That's where you're going to be if you don't get it straight. That's just simply what it is. There's nothing to go around it. Well, so that's kind of what I'm saying to people. Like, I know people kind of hear the language and feel like you're coming at them hard, but it's a hard truth because a lot of people will be single.
But you're a divorcee and you're a mother. You realize that life, who came from a little girl or young girl's perspective, life is real.
Yeah.
And we need to hear the real. That's why I was so troubled when I was talking to this previous caller. I'm like, what? So,
Well, I feel like some people feel like the prize still, at the end of the day, we're in a youth culture for a reason. There's certain things that come from our youth culture that
right.
builds our society as well.
All
So
right.
I don't feel like older women who kind of play the role like they're still hot stuff. And I'm not saying you can't be. You can be physically hot stuff, but you're just not going to be the one that's going to be
Man,
chosen
you
for
shouldn't
it.
be doing. All right, then. Appreciate you calling in. We got a lot of folks in the chat room, but thank you for sharing your story.
Okay. Have a nice day.
You too. Now, you know,
Mm.
I'm gonna say it, man. There's when I
You charging $800 for your English course, man. Fuck you.
right. You look at this dude. Oh, poor baby. He really came through for all that. He can't. His name is Keisha. So you can go ahead and sit right there and watch me make money. Um, he can sit there and watch me make money. We're gonna go ahead and get you to not even show you a video. You weirdo men stalking another man. You got these rapey vibes going on, man. I don't get you guys. I mean, really, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
I'm getting these stalkers, man. I mean, yeah, I see this guy calls me back always with got lotion in one hand and a red light in the background. He just wanted to scream and holler at me. Oh, 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 oh. I mean, damn. What's up, man? What do you got for on time?
All right, so I just kind of like came to your channel maybe like a couple days ago. Good stuff, I'm gonna say. I am 30, about to be 30 years old this month.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have one question that I'm really kind of troubled by. So I run across women that say they're working on themselves, and that's why they don't want to take a relationship serious. Now, I don't have a problem with getting a woman, regardless of looks, but these are the things I constantly run across. And what
Okay.
would you say
To women that
to
say they're
women
working on
that-
themselves?
Yeah.
Well, in general, they don't find you attractive enough or hot enough. Because
Okay.
that's number one. And number two, at 30 years old, you're really just now scratching the surface to where you should even be concerned. I would be doing anything. Do you want to be married?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, between now and 35, I would really still be focusing on my purpose, and I'd only be dealing with women who upfront know they are marriage minded. I would start asking these questions right off the rip because that working on themselves, that you ain't Dr. Phil. You don't have time for that.
So you don't think that's like coming off a little too strong? Because I've been
No,
told that. You know what I
it's
mean?
coming off too strong for somebody who's not serious.
Okay.
It only takes 6 months to know. It only takes 6 months to meet somebody to be married.
Right.
So we got to retell this story. All that's coming on too strong is people who want to play that game, which is cool, but you're not doing that. You know what you want. It's like, do you have? So it's like this. Imagine you had $100,000 and you knew the car you wanted to buy. Would you take 2 or 3 years to find that joker?
No.
Exactly. All right, fam. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Peace out. Yeah, man. When women are talking about they need to work on themselves and things like that, that just means for whatever reason we don't do it for them and just take it. You're 30, bro. You got all the time in the world. Really. Dennis, like Dennis said earlier today, man, 40 years old is where you really should start looking at stuff. Yeah, that dude, yeah, poor baby. I know. Yeah, the lights. So, your previous caller, the one who said she was married, and she realized that she was too young. Ladies, I will say this. Do not allow your ego to let you end up being dead by yourself. Because it takes a lot for a man to walk away from women. Understand something. Women typically end relationships. Women typically end marriages. That's just not men's nature. If a man is filing, that's unusual. Ladies, pay heed. Pay attention. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Oh, the lights. Oh, he got all excited and shit. Oh my God, you can't be serious. And his name is, what is it? Kanisha. Oh, he got a chick's name too. I'm gonna let you back on, man. You want to talk? Kanisha, you want to talk? If you want to talk, Kanisha, raise your hand and I'll let you on. And you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. How many of y'all want Kanisha to come on? If you guys want Kanisha to come on and tell me how much of a F-boy I am and how lame I am, let me know. Come on. And if Kanisha raises his hand, Kanisha, hit me up in the chat room. Type your message, Kanisha. Kanisha, whatever your name is, go ahead and type your message. Oh my gosh. She cheated. Oh yeah. Yeah. I got room for, I got some smoke for Kanisha. I got some smoke for once I finish doing my work. I'll let him her on. I'll let Shim on. Shim, you want on? Shim on. What the folks don't stop till you get in there. Shim on. Come on, Shim. Shim, you want to talk to me? Shim, he ain't raised his hand yet. Shimmy ya, yay. Shimmy ya, yay. He ain't raised his hand. She ain't raised his hand yet. Him, her don't know if she want to come on. She, you want to come talk to me? She, do you want to come talk to me? She, you waited for like 20 minutes. She, you want to talk to me? Blah, 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 blah. Come on, she. Shimmy ya, yay. Shimmy ya. Cam up, shit. Cam up, chicka. Show everybody how big of a man you are. He don't even want to unmute now. Come on, Shim. Shimmy ya, yay. Oh, she's scared. Well, we let you back. I thought I'll let Kanisha, I was going to let you come talk to me, but I guess, he had to recharge his battery. He shot that first one off. It was too good for him. He didn't even take. You know how you get that first one off, and when you're all, you barely can hold it, and you're just trying to hold it back, and got excited. Oh, he needed a nap. It's called recovery time. Shim needed a recovery time. Godfather's kind of sexy. Kind of sexy in these suits, man. These dudes get excited. Can't take. Come on, unmute yourself. Michaela. Hello.
Hi, Kevin. Can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Hey, well, Gina, you can go ahead. Gina, it's wasted minutes. Let me help you some more. Bye, Gina. What do you got for me?
Hi, my name's Michaela. I'm 21 and
21?
19. I was actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So my question.
Hold on. Your audio is a little off. Your audio is off. Are you on headset or are you on Bluetooth? What?
I'm on Bluetooth.
Okay. What do you have 21? What's your question?
So my question is, after leaving an abusive relationship and seeking counseling, I had gained a significant amount of weight, and right now I'm considering weight loss surgery after seeking personal trainers, nutrition, etc. But I'm wondering if that would.
I cannot hear you. Your microphone is really off, and you're off on the wrong topic. What I need you to do, if you guys are going to call in, I got quite a few people watching. I need you to approach this like a show. Even though it's not in the studio, you're not in the audience, but please And then need to call on topic. So let me go ahead and let this person in. 2,600 people. What's going on? Hey, you need to go ahead and get your microphone is connected. Every woman is an abuser. I know. I don't get it. I hear all these abusive things, and that's supposed to make you stop. But I'm like, All right, connect your microphone. Yeah, but in general, ladies, you do yourself no favors gaining weight. You need to keep your weight down. I don't care what the situation is. You got to keep your weight down. The world does not owe you understanding. Whatever your reasons are, as valid as though they may be, men are not going to go through the trouble of understanding you. You're going to go on to the next one. Ms. Hudson, you need to connect your microphone. Or I'm going to go ahead to the next one. Struggle Wireless, I know. Cricket Wireless. Cricket Wireless. What's going on, Goshen? All right. So, again, older women. And see, here's the problem. Bree, what's going on? Hello? Bree B. Bree B going once. Bree B going twice. Bree B getting muted again. See, a lot of times when a woman asks a man's opinion, and if you give her the truth, a lot of guys don't want to tell you the truth because they're afraid of how you're going to take it. That's why I say Curtis Jackson, guys like him, they can tell you the truth because they can be unbothered and unashamed about it. A lot of these guys cannot tell you the truth because they got to go to work with you. They got to deal with you in the regular world. And they know a lot of you will listen, you'll hear it, you'll even take it in, but then mess around and share that information with your friend or something, or you'll sit on it, and then a day or so later, you'll get mad about it. Next thing you know, these guys are in HR, and you done wrote up letters and, he insulted me and blah, 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 and guys aren't doing that. But you got to ask yourself, if you have, in my generation, Generation X, I wonder if we could break the numbers out. The percentage of unmarried women, unmarried, never married women in Generation X, I bet it would be over 80%. Why? Because sadly, so many of our sisters have never looked at their corresponding men and said, that's my partner. That's who I need to be going through life with. Every other group of people, every other race of people, no matter if they're here or there, they look to each other to help. You looked at us as your competition. Or, I'll take that back. You looked at us as your servants. You don't even look at us as competition. You're better than most of us. If not, you would not talk to the average rank and file black man with such informality, casual disdain, low-level contempt. I mean, can you guys not hear the way in which some older women speak about black men? You can feel that coming through. They're not speaking in good faith and love and anything. It's like, I'm disgusted even having to address your being. And that shit just won't fly. Because like it or not, like I said, brothers and sat there and took them lashes, took their work, and they have improved themselves. And now with social media and more and the internet, the world is starting to realize, hey, those black men, they're a pretty good catch. Of all the groups of men in this country, they are the most likely to hear their women out. I wish a lot of those black women could truly go to another country to see what women in other countries have to put up with. You would come running back to the United States of America with a different attitude. I laugh when you hear talk about how black men treat black women as if a lot of you have been oppressed. As if you've ever had to do that color purple stuff that got y'all all twisted up. All right, Shanae, we're going to try you one more again, and we're going to get up out of here in a few minutes. Because at the end of the day, Shanae, your audio needs to connect. At the end of the day, black men are not your enemy. They're not. Black men are not your enemy. Never have been. Black men, and whether you believe it or not, most black men want to be with black women. They do. 80% of people want to be with their own folks. And here's the sad thing. I know I've heard men right here in this sector of YouTube, in a moment of truth, say, it pains me to know I gotta be alone because my counterpart is so caustic. Hardworking, good men, earners, providers, six-figure dudes and better. I'm not even going to speak the guy's name. I know every time I hear him, I hear noise in the background. He's doing stuff. And I've heard these men say, out of all the problems and all the issues and ups and the downs and the family court and this and that, still want a black woman. A lot of you sisters don't realize the jewel you have in those black men. And the fact any other race of men would have likely divested and left long time ago. I'll say it. It's my personal opinion. This is just my opinion. Those black men are some of the best men on the planet. To be raised in this country, to survive what we have survived, and for the majority with such ill treatment to still be 10 toes down for the average. Man, I better get out of here. All right, Miss Hudson, your stuff's not getting on. I can't hear you. It's called no, it's called a preference. I'm not going to tell anybody what their preference is. It's called I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that one alone. But I will tell you this, personally, I hope the average ADOS brother that I'm referring to starts to open up his horizons and you select from the highest quality woman in your area, whatever she is. That's my personal opinion. You have done what you have to do to get on your purpose, to separate yourself from the pack, to improve yourself. There is no reason, I think it's ridiculous to say, you know what? I'd rather, if I can't have this, I'll have nothing. Forget that. No. Now that's insanity to me. You might like fried chicken, but baked chicken, rotisserie chicken, chicken tenders, chicken breasts, chicken fingers. There's all kind of ways to make chicken. I'll be damned. I'm going to eat. See, I would say it's a lot of men's programming has kept you alone. And that does you no good. You need to build a network of like-minded men and cooperative and inspirational women, even if they're not on your team. You need to be around FBI women so you can have women understand what women do for men in general, and then one in particular for you. Going through life with a hole there just because of some preference that you've never tested. See, it's one thing to say if you've actually tested and tried things and say, this is what I want. But if you never, no, not that. No. We're going to eat, bro. I'm going to tell you like that. We're going to eat. So, all right, guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We're running a little bit long. The upload of the show will be back. The Danger Zone show will be back up in the morning. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. Thank you to my troll for giving me some. That was funny. That was some funny shit. Yeah, we have to have a segment where you keep calling in, man. Make sure you use some Vaseline. It's not as sensitive. You can last longer. Oh, F-boy. What kind of weirdos are they making these days? So anyway, tomorrow night we're going to do a different kind of show. I think we're going to do an Ask Me Anything show. Unless something else jumps up, because I'm kind of digging these. Until the next time, peace. We are gone. The smooth groove and tracks will be out hopefully by Sunday. Give me till Sunday to get the playlist up.
It's not hard to fool me, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yeah, either way, I fall.
Join me on Patreon for videos you will only see there. Patreon live stream, Monday, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Join me on IG in the frat room. You'll see videos there you will only see there. When they're up, they're up. They're gone, they're gone.
So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible before the moment flies.
Email me at info@bykevinrsandwich with your show ideas. I gotta say this, please, if you email me something that is 2-3 paragraphs long, I'm not reading it. If it's business, go purchase the product or service. I am not reading long emails because you're not about the business. Shorten it up if you want to get my attention. Book your sessions at bykevinsamuels.com. Schedule, pick your time, it's all ready to go. Again, if you don't email me about business, don't send me a comment wall. I'm not even picking through it. Shorten it up. Respect my time. Respect the business. Let's go. Tank Johnson, Brown Hornet, DR, Jared, Big Head B&B, what's up? I wish I could pronounce more of y'all's names. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. Till next time. Peace.